Hey everybody. I figured it'd be fun to do a review for Welcome to Alien Inn, a book in the Bone Chiller series. I actually read this before I started YouTube, and that was earlier this year. So I'm not going to remember everything about this book. Um, I'm going to try to go based on what I do remember about it. I had a review on Goodreads and Instagram, so I read them, and that kind of helped jog my memory a little bit. There are some things that I looked at and I was like, I remember liking this book, and as I read the review, I was like, oh, I don't even remember that. Um, so basically, what the story is there's this family called the Myers. I don't even remember the first kid's name. Let me see, Matt. Okay, I'll let you guys look at the back of it too. Um, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I remember when I got to this book, the only reason I wanted to read it, I read it in like January, and it was like kind of snowy. And if you could look at the front, there's snow on the front of it. We'll talk about the cover first, anyway. Pretty sure Tim Jacobus did this one. I'm trying to find his signature. It's on here somewhere. I'm positive Tim Jacobus did this one. It's really awesome. I love it. It does have a lot of snow and isolation feel to it, and I love books like that anyway. So yeah. But whenever I was reading this, I remember this being one of the books in my public library too when I was a kid. Um, and I never picked it up. It was just I was stuck with Goosebumps. Not stuck with Goosebumps, but I was wanting to read all the Goosebumps instead of Bone Chillers. I felt like I was betraying the series. I mentioned that before in Frank and Turkey's review. Um, but yeah, absolutely love this cover. But I remember when I read this year, I read a couple of Alien books back to back. There are YA books. I read a Ghost of Fear Street book called Caution, Aliens at Work. And there was another Alien book I read, I think. And I got to this, and I didn't want to read it. I was like, this is not going to be that great. I will say this is one of the better Alien YA children's fiction books that I've ever read. There are a lot of like unique ideas in here that I guess they're not like unique. They're just ideas that wasn't really executed in other books. And yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This one's one of the better books in the series. It's very early. I think it's number 4, 8. I was close. But yeah, it's one of my favorite Bone Chillers books. And I'm honestly gonna say it's underrated because I know years down the road I'm not gonna remember it that much. Just like I read this year and I don't remember a lot about it. But anyway, it starts off with this family. Matt, his mom and dad, he's got a little sister and his dog. Um, they're going to they're going somewhere. I think they're coming back from like a vacation for a family member, I think, if I remember right. And there's snow coming down, and they end up pulling over because they can't travel in the snow. And they see this store or this hotel, and it's called Snowed Inn, like Snowed with INN, like a Welcome to Alien Inn. And they get out and they meet this guy. There's a lot of pop culture references in this book, which was amazing. One of them I was very ashamed that I didn't catch on to. They get out and they run into this guy, and he is dressed like Mr. Rogers, and he looks identical to Mr. Rogers from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. They quickly meet the kids that are there. That's his kids, I think. And the 3 kids are named Bart, which is the guy, Lisa, the sister, and then there's a little sister named Maggie. Or maybe it's like Marge, Maggie, and Lisa or something. Bart, I know there's a Bart. Anyway, they're all named after the Simpsons. And I remember reading that and I didn't catch on to it until like a chapter later, and they're like, they're named after all of the Simpsons characters. And I'm a big Simpsons fan, so that really hurt that I didn't catch on to that, and I still kick myself for that. But anyway, as the story progresses, we learn that this hotel is kind of weird. The guy, Mr. Rogers, and the kids doesn't know what their dog is. They ask what the dog is. They're like, they make their beds up backwards. They get a menu for food, and all of the words are spelled weird, and like they don't make any sense. And different things start happening. One night, the kid, Matt, is in there sleeping, and he hears these noises coming from a room next door to like this game room. There's also this video game thing that's where they go and fight these alien races, and the aliens are called like I'm not even gonna try that. I know it starts with a P, and there's a way like you have to kill the alien by getting this weapon, but the alien attacks you before, and that comes into play later on. And so they hear these noises while Matt hears these noises while he's sleeping, and the noises are keeping him up and all that. And the next day, one by one, each family member comes out of these rooms changed, like they start acting like these characters, and obviously they're being turned into some kind of alien experiment. As I do say that I love this cover, love the title and all that. I would have changed it because I think this was a missed opportunity for this book to be very mysterious, because I didn't, like, as I was reading this, I thought to myself, I was like, if this book wasn't called Welcome to Alien Inn and it didn't have a alien on the front, I would have thought these characters would have been something else. And I still think that. But yeah. And that's basically what this book is. Matt's trying to save his family, trying to get back to normal and all this stuff. One of the things I wanted to mention that I really enjoyed was the fact that there is this two things really. These aliens are dark. They're very unique, and one of the things that they say is if they don't do as they say, he will blast his parents into outer space, and they'll be out there floating around. And that, to me, that was pretty dark. So yeah. And there's also this thing that you don't really think about in these kind of books, and it's like as they're traveling through space, they have this thing called what was it called? It's like, I don't even remember the name of it either, but it's something where they freeze you, where they could travel through space. And I thought that was really cool because I never really thought about it. I don't remember seeing that in any books or anything like that at the time. So yeah, I remember there's motives for these aliens, and I even mentioned it in my review on Instagram, and I thought that the motives were kind of weak or something, but I don't remember what the motives are, to be honest with you. I think I do, but I could be confusing this with another alien book. I read a lot of these kind of books, so after a while, some of them start blending in together. But yeah. Welcome to Alien Inn, I do recommend. I think it's a really great book. This is an easier Bone Chillers book to get your hands on. I think I paid like $3 for this on Thrift Books when I bought it. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. This is easily one of the better books in the series. I'm sorry that I don't remember a ton about this book. And luckily I did a review on it, because if I didn't do a review on it on Goodreads, there's a lot that I would have forgot about. I don't think it's very memorable. And I don't mean that as a very negative. It's just I read a lot of these type of books, so chances are they're gonna spill over. It's like the motives I said for these aliens or whatever. The alien, I think I remember what the motives are, but again, I could be confusing this with there's a Spine Tinglers book I read about aliens this year too. So yeah. Welcome to Alien Inn. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good, really great, really dark and mysterious. I love the pop culture references of Mr. Rogers and The Simpsons, and the weird things that these aliens do. It was kind of funny. I do remember liking that, but yeah. 4 out of 5 stars for me. If you guys read this book, please let me know in the comments below. Again, I'm sorry that I don't remember every single thing about this book. Yeah, so yeah, 4 out of 5 stars from you guys. Please let me know in the comments what you thought about it. Thank you, and bye-bye.